And we're also following breaking developments on the most recent officer-involved shooting. Police have identified the suspect as 30-year-old Jamar Coward. He's charged with domestic assault in connection to yesterday's shooting at Warwick Village Apartments on Richmond's south side. We've now learned that there were children inside the home last night when this violence broke out. Curtis McLeod is live with the latest on the investigation. Curtis?
Well, good evening, Kurt. I can tell you at this hour we know that the man charged in this altercation, in this incident, 30-year-old Jamar Coward, is still at the hospital this evening. As for those two children who were inside of this apartment, we know that they are okay. Officers responded here after receiving a call about a domestic violence dispute. That's when they were met by Coward, who was armed with a gun. He was ultimately shot by officers. This is a pretty different scene than what we saw here at the Warwick Village Apartments Tuesday night. Dozens of officers filled the streets, and distressed loved ones and people living in the community arrived on the scene desperate for answers.
I know people want answers right away, so there's some things that we can put out at this point, but there's some things we can't. We have to let, how many times have we heard Chief Durham say, we have to let the case unfold, we have to let it take its course.
Major Steve Drew with Richmond Police tells me that for now, these are the facts of the case. A call came into police about a domestic dispute just after 10:15 Tuesday night. Police responded to that call and heard yelling and screaming coming from an apartment.
Once inside, that officer had a confrontation with the male suspect and the assault. The male displayed a firearm. There was an altercation and our officer fired.
I asked who fired first. Major Drew says all of that will come out once the initial investigation is finished. That suspect was taken to a hospital where he is being treated for his injuries. He has since been charged with domestic violence and has been turned over to the sheriff's office. People living in the area like Kim Bass call this a rarity for such a serene, close-knit community. She was surprised to see the outpour of police after shots were fired at an apartment just several doors down from where she lives.
The neighborhood is normally pretty quiet. That's why I moved over here.
Police say there were two children inside the apartment during the domestic dispute. They're doing okay. Despite what happened here, neighbors say they aren't worried, but will keep an eye out for each other. And still, those neighbors are very shaken by what happened here last night. I'm told that officers and faith leaders will do a walkthrough just to check and see if everyone is doing okay. As for those officers involved in this ordeal, in this incident, I'm told they have been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of this investigation. Of course, we'll stay on top of this and provide the latest developments to you as we get them. But for now, we're live on your side in the south side of Richmond. I'm Curtis McLeod, NBC 12.